Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How we doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing well. We are going to continue. This is going to be the final installment for the engagement queen thing. We might as well just jump into it. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, go ahead and watch parts 1 and 2. So we're going to kind of get on Brick Lady another time, because the amount of foolishness in that was astronomical. But we're going to go back and we're going to deal with the next lady. And her story. And we're going to kind of just go through this as quickly as possible. So go ahead, get the likes up. We're going to get started.
I just want to make sure.
I desire.
Like, okay.
The 2.5
I desire
times,
to be married,
okay.
but the thing for me is, if it's not aligned, I'm not interested,
Mm-hmm.
and I just refuse to allow for society to make me. Because being in a relationship is easy. Getting married is easy, but being with a person where you have the same focus, not even the same focus, the same passion and calling and morals and core values, like that's way different. Like alignment to me is so important. Yeah. And if I don't find my unicorn, baby, there's next life. And I'm going to spend this one making it the best doggone life I could. And my life is so rich. I have incredible friendships. I have an amazing family. Like I actually love my life. Right. So if it's not someone that's adding value, I'm not interested. I don't have warm body syndrome where I need somebody to lay in the bed next to me at night. I don't have that. Yeah. I like my own, I feel like I enjoy myself. I enjoy my tribe. I enjoy, all of the things. And so inside of that, if there's not a man that is aligned where I can recklessly trust his leadership over my life, recklessly respect this man, then I don't want it.
Mm-hmm. So just so we can get context, because I want to get context high level over, just some of the situations that you've had. It's not.
Now, before we let her go on, I have got to address the main thing that she's talking about. First, she's talking about aligning with core values, right? And all that good stuff. Aligning with core values. She's talking about if it's not aligned, she's not interested, which is actually would be the only part of what she said that make any sense. We talk here extensively about values, right? And if your values are not aligned with the person that you're trying to have a marriage with, the marriage will not work, because other things don't actually make it work. It's not enough. It's not enough that y'all vibe together. It's not enough that y'all like each other. It's not enough that the sex is good. It's not enough that they look good, or the money's not enough. All of the stuff that they say is important. That stuff is not enough. It has its place, but it's not enough. Values have to be aligned. That's about the only thing she said that made any type of sense. Let me talk about this other part that she said. She says she wants to recklessly, keyword, trust the leadership of a man, and she wants to recklessly respect him. Ladies, that don't make no sense. That was stupid. That made zero sense. That made zero sense. Do you understand me? You cannot recklessly trust nobody. I'm gonna tell you why that don't make no sense. Because that is a fantastical view of the leader-follower dynamic. And what this does is her saying recklessly trust his leadership is a setup for failure. Because one of the things that it does is it absolves her of adding valuable insight. It absolves her of having to come with the value of her femininity to complement his foresight, to have a relevant thought as it pertains to what they're going to do as a couple. In other words, she don't want to have to do anything, including think about the direction of their relationship or what's going on in their lives together. Or she want to be able to close her. See, there's a line between trust and recklessly doing stuff. You don't recklessly do nothing. You're not supposed to recklessly be in this relationship at all. A more realistic approach is the trusting of his relationship. The trusting of his leadership, even when it is imperfect, because it will be. A more realistic approach is the trusting of his leadership, even when the leadership is imperfect, because it will be. To be reckless implies that you don't think about, nor do you add value to his leadership as a good follower. You want to be able to take away from his leadership. You want to be able to act up as a follower and everything still be okay. And it is not. Saying recklessly trust his leadership and then recklessly respect. How do you recklessly respect somebody? But we're going to get into it. Saying you want to recklessly trust his leadership is just a setup for disappointment and the ability to blame him when the plans do not go as, things don't go as planned, or he has a setback. You don't want to put your hat in there. You don't want to throw your hat in the ring, because if there happens to be a setback, if there happens to be the plan didn't go quite as he had envisioned it, or, it might have went completely left, whatever the case may be, you want to be able to sit back and blame. You want to be able to sit back and say, oh, I don't trust you anymore. I don't trust your leadership anymore because I tried to recklessly trust your leadership and then this didn't turn out right. So now she has an excuse to be a bad follower underneath this leadership, because she set up this fantastical understanding of what leadership and followership look like. To say recklessly trust his leadership is almost to imply that he will be perfect in everything that he planned and in all of his execution. He's not Allah. He's not Allah. I don't care what kind of man he is. He's a man. Men are flawed. They're human beings. They have flaws. They make mistakes. They miscalculate. They misjudge. Your trust and your followership as a woman is not contingent on whether or not he ever makes a mistake. He's going to do that. There's a difference between the occasional mistake or miscalculation and bad leadership. So I didn't like that reckless. I want to recklessly don't buy into that. That doesn't make any sense. How do you recklessly respect somebody? I ain't get that part. You either respect people or you don't. I don't know how you recklessly respect somebody. Again, conditional. She talking about that conditional femininity, conditional submission, conditional followership. He has to be perfect in everything that he does. If he makes an error, a misstep, or a mistake, then I get to act a fool. And I get to throw up in his face. Remember when I tried to trust you and it went left? Remember how that didn't work? See, now I can't trust none of your leadership. So I have to be able to do what I have to do. And I have to do what I want to do. And I have to go on my own thing because your leadership is not perfect. The reckless respect. That one got me. I ain't gonna lie. That one caught me up. Okay. So we're going to skip forward a bit into she gonna try to be telling her little story.
Marry me. So I feel like that was, and he did it in front of me and my mother, which I thought was very strange, in the sense where my dad's response, my dad's from Compton, just to be fair. Dad, if you're watching this, I love you so much. He's so straightforward. And he said, man, don't ever ask me this question in front of my daughter and my wife. If you want to have this conversation.
Wait, he said all of that is happening in front of you.
Yes, and my mother.
Because it's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. Right. Yeah, like why would you do that? And for me, just like a lot of the other things that happened in that relationship, I realized that this man would do things. It was breadcrumbing. He was breadcrumbing me to follow a lead that he doesn't actually have. Mm-hmm. And so he would do things like, let's go ring shopping. Okay. He would do things like ask my dad for permission. He would do things like tell all of his friends, oh, this is my wife. This is my, all the nicknames. I don't want to give it away, but anyway.
He was really love bombing.
Oh, he love bombed the hell out of me. And to be fair, I know that for me, where I went wrong inside of that relationship was I was in a space where I was in a rush to be married. Yeah. Because my dad was sick. We were on our second battle with cancer. And so inside of that, I knew that it was like, well, marriage and a family. I want my children to meet their grandfather. Right. I want my dad to walk me down the aisle. And because of that, which I figured out in therapy, because I was in such a rush, you don't make good choices when you're rushing. And so I made a bad rushed decision to choose a person that I knew. And I used to say it. All of my girlfriends could attest to this. I talked myself into that man. I talked myself in like, well, maybe. And he's not a bad person. we're just so out of alignment with one another.
Right.
And I'm sure that he feels the same exact way because we're so out of alignment with one another. And if I had looked at red flag number 1 before we even started dating, I never would have gotten that relationship to begin with. You know, so I could take responsibility for that. I never should have been in that relationship. But honestly, most of my relationships, I never should have been in it. It's always been like whoever is most persistent wins.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, hold on, because that's a good.
So what she telling us is that she does not choose men very well. She doesn't have any sense of how to even look for a man. How do you got a whole daddy? And this is what I was talking about yesterday, about the fathers not being involved in the processes. How do you have a whole daddy and you don't know the baseline of what you're supposed to be looking for in a man? So you just told us all your relationships is like that. So that you don't vet, you don't look at the men, you don't evaluate them, you don't think carefully about what they're saying, you don't think about what they're talking about, you don't examine their actions versus their words, or you don't do nothing. Just whoever, that's that real pick me stuff. Just whoever pursue you the hardest and give you the most attention and give you the most of whatever you think is valuable, that's who you gonna pay attention to. Do that make any sense? What are we really saying? This is a guy with money. I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. This man had money. She gonna basically say that he was a doctor that had like 2 or 3 practices. So there was a lot of money. He schmoozes her family, pays her mom. He in a whole relationship with her mama. It may not be sexual, but anytime you putting down $20,000, she said, to get her mom's dental work done, and this is after they're not together, come on. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase on that one. This dude had money. That's what made her overlook everything else, because he could provide for her the type of lifestyle she thinks that she's deserve it of. So therefore, because he was able to, she basically said it. Like, he upgraded me. Like, no, the other lady was saying how her man upgraded her. I might have that mixed up. But anyways, I want to point something else out as well. Let me go back to it. I thought this part was interesting as well. We're going to go a bit forward.
He's spending money. Is he still 100% responsible for the finance?
I think I was communicating. Like there were times before the wedding where I was like, I don't know. There was a time we got into a fight and I was like, I'm not wearing my ring to go see your family. I don't even feel like we should be engaged. Like there, and he's like, you have, and there was one time I left it on the bedstand. Like, I don't feel like we should be engaged. And he's like, he brought it with him. Yeah. He pulled it out of his pocket. Like everything was a show.
That ego.
We had
That's
to put
what I said about
show.
the ring. I'm like, you got me this big ass ring because
ring.
You want the attention that comes with it. Oh, who's your man? I used to get that at least once a day. Go shopping, go to gas.
Girl,
your man loves you. I'm like, why can't it be because he knew what he was doing with that big ass ring?
Yes,
how do you get a big ass ring like that and then don't even properly set up your relationship to make it down the aisle?
Right. My mom used to say when I traveled, like flip the diamond on the inside so people don't see the diamond because when you fly, you know what I mean? When you go on planes and you're right there in faces, she'd always say like flip your ring inside out so people can't see. You know, it was a thing. It was a big thing.
Incredible.
So check this out. Let's actually read super chats in the next 5.
Now, let me we're going to kind of go through it a little bit faster than we've been going through it. I thought that how much he spent on y'all was indicative of how much a man value y'all, right? Ain't that what they be saying? It's the double talk for me. Don't they always be saying the ring gotta cost a certain amount? You know, it's gotta look a certain way. He gotta spend a certain amount of money, and he gotta do, and the wedding gotta be a certain way, and the dress gotta be a certain way, and the ring got. Don't they say that when they're trying to describe whether or not a man love them or value them? Because don't these same types of women talk crap when a woman is modest with it and says that she doesn't need this huge rock? He doesn't have to spend, you know, his life's earnings on an engagement ring or anything. Like she will accept she will accept a modest ring. She'll accept a modest engagement and wedding set. Like it don't gotta be this stupid, you know, ridiculous amount of money that he gotta spend in order to say that he loved me. Didn't they talk about Simone Biles for this very reason? She didn't get this huge thing. She didn't get this huge, you know, they eventually did have a wedding ceremony where, you know, she got the real fancy dress and they went to a real fancy place. But to actually get the marriage itself done, they went down to the courthouse. She had a simple little ponytail, a simple little dress on, simple little heels on, and went down there and got the actual marriage done. Didn't they ridicule her? Didn't they talk about her? Didn't they say, oh, well, your man got money. Why come did you settle for this, that, and the third? Aren't these the same type of women that somebody, if he don't take you to a certain restaurant or spend a certain amount of money on you on dates, that he's not valuing you? Now, all of a sudden, when he do get you the big ring and he do get you all this stuff, now the fact that he got the ring is manipulative? Now he was looking for attention and validation by getting you a ring that was big, because I mean, you know, putting a big old ring on a pretty woman finger, but you would have flipped out if he had gotten you a cheaper ring, if he had gotten you a little bitty ring, you know, that didn't have a lot of flash and bling to it. A ring that was sort of basic. Y'all would have been flipped out. It would have been, he gave me this little cheap ring on top of it. So you can't win for losing. Because again, if he give you this big old ring, now he's trying to manipulate you because he was looking for attention. The ring on your finger. When you not with him, they don't know who gave you that ring. Now you mad at the other sisterhood when they say, oh, your man must love you, because y'all equate how much a man love you with how much money he's spending on you, which lionesses have been told y'all that that's not the marker. Lionesses been told y'all that it's not the marker for how much a man love you, how much money he's able to conjure up and spend on you. It's not the amount of money, it's the level of generosity. It's not really about, let me say that, it's not really about the dollar amount. It's about the level of generosity that a man is willing to have with you. If you're a lioness who gives your all in this relationship and you do what you're supposed to do, when you have a man that is generous, even if he don't have a lot of money, he will share everything that he have with you. Because it's a lot of men that's got a lot of money. He ain't about to give you a dime. He's not about to part with that money for you at all. He can see you struggling and he ain't gonna give you nothing. He gonna be like, "Are you struggling?" Hope you get that figured out. He be having a whole thing of money. Will not give you nothing. Then you be feeling away because he don't give you nothing. Anyway, we're going to go to a commercial and then we're going to come back. I just thought that was interesting, and we're going to start on the third woman's story when we get back. So after these messages, we'll be right back. Go ahead and click the link at the top of the chat with ashkicking.com if you want to keep your skin looking and feeling and smelling its best. Then you need to run right on over to ashkicking.com and get their body butter. They have a whole line of body care products that I know that you will enjoy. And if this is your first purchase, please take advantage of the 10% discount that you can receive by using the promo code Crimson. So once again, go ahead, go to ashkicking.com. It's a beautiful website. The packaging is beautiful. The products are top notch. So you definitely are going to be pleased. I guarantee you that you're going to love their products, whichever one you choose. So once again, that is ashkicking.com. Use the promo code Crimson to get a 10% discount off of your first order. Okay. I know I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta go ahead and hit the like button for me. So let's get back to it.
But I couldn't allow him to buy the ring because I knew I didn't want to marry him.
You know, that's interesting.
Like, that's like it's like a scary movie because you know
it definitely was.
Definitely a scary movie.
You going
Definitely.
like he's excited.
Yeah.
You know, you jump in the car, you driving.
Nobody care about
You know, once they stroll up to Tiffany's, I'm sure first thing he do look at the sign, then look at your face, right? And he goes in there, and what are you doing when he's looking around, when he's perusing around for the ring?
You got an attitude.
Well, you know what? Kind of a little bit. At that point, it's a long story, but at that point, I was already kind of in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't there already mentally. And he knew that I was struggling because I had shared that with him. I'm a very direct person. And so when we went to the store, the person, he didn't do right for so long that by the time he's doing this, I don't even really want it. So what's flashing in my mind is the new person that I have already met, and I'm ready to go. Because that's what I said.
Okay, so
that's what I said.
so hold on.
Wait. So you were actively. So pretty much. Hold on.
So see, here's what we didn't know. There was actually
Another one.
Another one.
right? So nobody knew about that.
Yeah. So okay, so you seriously dating this guy. You know he's got intentions of marrying you, and somebody else comes along and you dating that person as well.
No.
Okay.
No, I gotta let me tell the story.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
Let us know.
So I'm mid-20s. I'm like 23 when I meet this dude.
The new one.
No, the guy
That you're dating. Yeah.
Right. The guy that we're talking about. So he's 21 years older than me. All right. So we meet. Wow. Right. I know.
So
I know.
he's
44.
I'm here for
44.
it. Okay, I'm here for it.
My mother was always like, you're a very mature person, so you need to date somebody older, right? And like Sarah said, a mother always wants her daughter to be with somebody secure.
Yeah.
Right.
So this was a very successful man. He was a doctor with 3 practices, right? He did very well. And so a month in, we're in love, right? The quick thing. And then, he's like, move in with me. So I moved in with him. Cool. Then he's like, you don't have to work. So I didn't work. He gave me a biweekly allowance. He, exposed me to a lot of the, I guess the finer things in life that at 23 I just hadn't seen, right? So we got, we've got, it's just, season ticket to the orchestra and the symphony and the ballet and
he was loaded.
Oh, he put you on.
Yeah. So
Season
I'm
ticket to
learning
the
about. I'm going to art galleries and buying art with him, and I'm going to jazz clubs, right? And so
he's supposed to get a new parts of life.
He laid it on
Right.
deep.
Yeah.
So I'm like all in. Well, not far into the relationship, it started being, I'm the one washing the clothes, right? Because I don't work. So I'm the one washing the clothes and you going out with a group of doctors. But when I go into your pocket to clean them out before I put them in there, I'm finding a receipt, right? And it is 2 meals and 2 glasses of wine. So I don't know what group you went out with, but right. So I'm starting to see the infidelity. Yep. There started being very condescending rhetoric, right? And stuff like, you're never going to make it, or you don't have high ambitions, things of that nature. But I'm a kid, right? So I don't know what I want to do with my life at this point.
You're trying to figure some stuff out.
Right. But he is, making sure that I know that I'm not as good as him. So like a lot of young girls who just want to be married, I spent so much time really begging him to become the person that he showed me in the beginning. Why are you treating me this way? Can you just go back to what we used to be? I love you. Like, why are you doing this to me? Eventually it crumbled. But over that next year, we just, we kind of dealt back and forth, but still over that year, it was still me begging, right? It was still me saying, please love me. Please love me. We don't want to be alone. And I thought I was losing something. He had so conditioned me to think that he was, the prize in the situation. And I didn't know myself. So I'm just going along with it. So finally, I meet this other guy. And then what do guys do when they're narcissistic or when they really are lovers of self, right? They pull you back in. So now you see me moving on. I'm not answering your calls the way I used to. So now you're like, come back.
Well, hold on, wait. So did y'all break up officially?
We broke up. I moved out. And for that next year, it was just sporadically when he wanted to see me.
Gotcha.
So you were still dealing with him even after y'all broke up?
Yeah, I was goofy. I was a kid. I didn't know nothing.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Knock out to myself.
Well, go ahead.
He was rich too.
Right. So
cut it out.
I mean, no. We
That's
got
rich is
what it does.
That's part of the allure.
That's
absolutely.
Yes.
We just feel like we're never going to find it again.
Absolutely. Because it was my first time having it. Right.
At 23, that's
I was going to
remarkable.
say, you were young, girl. I would have.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So he pulls me back in. I say, hey, listen, you have almost sent me into a nervous breakdown, right? I can't do this with you if you're not going to be serious. So he says, I'm going to be serious. So we spend New Year's Eve in a hotel in the St. Regis with his daughter. We have a little family night. I'm thinking we're back on the roll. We're going to do it. A few days later, we're supposed to go to dinner. I call him. He don't answer the phone. I go to the club. Kenny Burns, I don't know if you remember this night, but I was at the club with you. We was just all kicking it. We were having a good time drinking, but I had a little bit too much. So at this point, I just wanted to see, right? Like I wanted to go by the house. So I go by the house. It's 3:00 in the morning. There's a beetle, right? And you are
Stop.
like the car.
Oh
You
no!
You already know because a Volkswagen Beetle. You know what I'm saying?
He got another young woman over there.
Right. That's a woman's car, right?
A young college
Right.
collegiate.
Right. So
Right.
She's figuring herself out in life right now.
Child.
Oh my God. Young scholar.
So not quite. I won't even tell you. We're not even gonna go there.
Oh no.
But what I will say
Oh.
is that night, right? You know, I almost lost it, right? Because you love a person, right? You are really stressed out in this moment. You see this car, your heart starts beating.
Did your
you're
neck-
kind of
Did your neck get hot?
The neck
When the
thing,
neck
yes,
hot,
That's when you know. She's telling you.
And so I am like banging on the door, and it just turned into a huge argument issue, right? And it was days later, right? I'm at my wit's end. It's days later, and he's like, basically me arguing with him and kind of going off that night. He's like, I didn't realize you love me so much. Now I really want to be with you. So I'm like, oh, he toxic. This is toxic. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know the word for it at the time, but I knew something wasn't right about it, right? So I go dealing with him for, you know, another year. Oh. By the end of that year on Christmas Day, I wake up. Now, mind you, we're in and out. So I've met this other guy, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not.
There's a reason why I let this go. Why I let this go without comment. This is about it. Not a whole lot more to say. To make it clear, none of these women are married as of them recording that, which was a last week or this over the weekend. Those women were not married. Neither of them. You right, UFO. That's why I wanted to highlight what he said. These are the type of women most high earners chase and then complain about them. Chase these young. She said he was 21 years older than her. So he was like 42, 43. She was 23 or whatever when they met. From what she said, he upgraded her life, was showing her things that she didn't know. She attributed being with this man well past realizing that he was quote unquote toxic, realizing that he had other women. She still was sexually dealing with this man. You know, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Because people have their own thoughts on things. I'm done. I can't. Okay. She started talking about how she's a direct person, but she wasn't. She wasn't direct when she didn't tell him about the other men that she had met, that she wanted to be with, that she was back and forth with. So not direct. She was monkey branching from one guy to the another. Didn't want to give up this guy because of the money, and they tried to cap when the host was like, and he was rich. No, see what? No, ain't no. Oh no, that is what it is, right? Because you're not dealing with none of the stuff that you dealing with that you calling toxic for a dude that ain't got no money. So you want this man got money. It plays a part. Let's stop the cap. So then she's not being forthcoming about the fact that she has got this other man that she's monkey branching to. So by the time this other guy gets around to an engagement and asking her to marry him or whatever, she doesn't want him to buy the ring because she's already getting bust down by another dude. Then she wants to attribute her bad decisions to, but I was young, I ain't know nothing. You're not a kid. I don't like this I was too young argument. I don't like that argument. I don't like that argument. I don't like the I'm too young argument, because there's a such thing as being at an age where you can be naive. I don't expect a woman 18, 19, 20 to have the same amount of awareness that a 35, 40-year-old woman has. I don't expect that, because she just doesn't have the life experience to have done it. But I also don't go to the other extreme where she just don't know nothing. Like I'm not with either of the extremes. At 20 something, you know enough. You're making decisions at these points. These are not just somebody got you and you just don't know what's going on. Like, no. They always too young when it comes to relationships, but they ain't never too young to bust it open. They ain't never too young to have a whole phase. They ain't never too young to become single mothers. They ain't never too young to be liking bad boys and running the streets and getting ran through. And they ain't never too young for that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. Why you ain't never too young for being a hoe, but you be too young to get into relationships? Like, I got told that when I married my first husband, I was 20 years old. Oh, here come my mama. You too young to do that. First of all, ma'am, you got married at what, 21, 22? So that's number one. And number two, you don't tell me. Because I knew even then, no, the only thing out here is D. The only thing out here is D. That's the only thing going on. These dudes, I figured that out young. I was 18, 19, 20 years old myself. I've been over there. I know how your young mind think. I know how a young woman's mind think. And you do be wanting to have fun. You do like to flirt. You do like male attention. But at the same time, there was a part of me that understood that all these boys don't really like you. Like, for real. Like, they don't really like you like that. Like, they may want to smash or whatever, but they ain't really invested. They ain't really trying to really see about you being no type of wife or nothing like that. Because what let me know that is because when I did want to be serious, the first thing they came out their mouth was, I can't do that with you because you're a wife and I want to have fun. Oh, see, that lets you know right there the mindset. That lets you know right there the mindset. So it's like, these boys ain't out here really trying to get with you like that for real. Constantly. You too young to get into a serious relationship. Why? Why I'm too young? Why would I be too young for a man to take me seriously and to take responsibility for me and not just use me for my sex and my body? Why would I be too young for that? Why would I be too young for a man to actually love me? Why am I too young for that? Why am I too young to get into a serious relationship and marriage with a man who would vow before mankind and God and me to tell me that he's going to take responsibility for me to death do us part? Why I'm too young for that? But I'm not too young to get a train ran. That's getting experiences and figuring out who you are. Sitting somewhere in an orgy, sitting somewhere getting a train ran, sitting somewhere drinking, partying, smoking, getting drunk, and getting into all these ridiculous situations and unsafe situations to where you can be taken advantage of, possibly by men and young men and whatever that don't care nothing about you and ain't about to lose no sleep. Now, one of them boys lost no sleep just because you was heartbroken, or because your feelings was hurt, or because you felt used. And then one of them boys lost no sleep. Why come you not too young to be getting into these sexual situations where you become jaded on men and jaded on relationships because you're now encountering relationship trauma over and over and over? You're not too young for some boy or some young man to bend you over. You're not too young for that? To be 17, 18 years old, getting bust down just for that same boy to act like he don't know you and don't want to talk to you, and you done gave him the most intimate part of yourself? Why you not too young for that? But you too young for a man to come along and say, hey, I want her for real. And I'm not gonna ghost her. I'm not gonna not pay her no attention. I'm not gonna make her feel used and abused and make her feel less than and not valuable. I don't understand that. You too young. How you too young to be loved? That's what it boiled down to. How you running around here telling young women she too young to be loved, but she ain't too young to be screwed on? It's a young lady in here says she's 17. How you doing, sweetening? What I look like telling this young lady she too young for a man that might be in his mid-20s or something to come along and tell her that he love her and he want to be her husband for the rest of her life and protect her and love her and value her? How's she too young for that? When this girl's her age already got 50 bodies, can already tell you how many eggplants they done sucked, can already tell you, already got a kid or two at her age, already got experience with a train, already got, but we gonna tell her she too young for a man to actually take her seriously and not want to waste her time and her youth and her body and her sex? Get out of here with that. She not too young to be taken seriously. It ain't gonna be no major difference in her biologically from her 17 and whenever her 18th birthday is. I was 17 at one point. It wasn't no big difference between me at 17, me at 18. I was the same me. And I knew what men was and what sex was and all this. I knew what that was. I may have been young, but I wasn't stupid. Stop telling these young girls, these 17, 18, 19 and stuff like that. Stop telling these, even into their 20s, stop telling these young women that they're too young to have a man that actually loves them and want to take responsibilities for them and want to value them and don't want to just run through them. And too young to have a man that don't just want to take advantage of her because she young. Stop telling these girls they too young for that. Quit underestimating these girls. If you would teach them how to be women, you wouldn't think she was too young. If you would teach them how to be women, if you would teach them what to look for in a man, how to treat a man and how to be treated by a man. What is he supposed to do? What is she supposed to do? If you taught them, don't teach her. You don't think she ready to be a wife because you done spent all her adolescence teaching her how to hoe. So you know she ready for that because that's what you've been teaching her. You've been teaching her how to sell her body to a man. Oh, if he don't give you this amount of money, then you don't do this and this, that, and the third. You teach her how to hoe, how to have a whore's mind. So you know she ready to hoe. Cause you've been grooming her for that. Then you get scared when she say, I don't want to be a hoe. I want to have a marriage and stuff like that. I want a man that actually love me and, I can actually be vulnerable with him. And I can actually be myself. I don't want to get out here and play all these games and get my heart broke and get my feelings hurt. Then you get scared. Oh, well, you're not going to know the difference between when a man playing. You teach her, or you don't know yourself. Because you 55 still getting played with the same thing that you got played with at 18. That's your problem. That's your problem. Cause you 62 going on Kendra G talking that same talk that a 22-year-old woman is talking. You ain't learned nothing in them 30, 40 years. And you want her to do the same thing, play the same stupid game, and win the same stupid prize you did. Quit setting these young girls up for the failure. Stop setting them up for failure and set them up for success. All we doing is teaching her how to behave as a wife and then what to look for in a man so that she can be treated well. We don't want her to go out there and get treated stupid. We actually don't want her to go out in these streets, to go out in this game, in this quote-unquote dating world for some idiot to get hold to her and mess her all up. Now she don't trust nobody. Y'all stop telling these young girls that she too young to be taken care of and be loved. But she ain't too young to be used. You want her to get out there and some man to use her. Talking about she finding what she want. Talking about she finding herself. You don't find yourself on no man's D. That is not where you lost a part of yourself on his D for. Where that happened at? When that happened? Huh? If you ain't never been in the street, how you lose yourself in the street to find yourself in the street? That don't make no sense. Finding yourself ain't got nothing to do with jumping from man to man. You find yourself through spiritual value. That's how you find yourself. Not through, you know what I'm saying, jumping from man to man and D to D. You want to find yourself? Go on a spiritual journey. Ask the Lord, commune with God. And that's how you see what you really made out of for you. And you can do that prior to being married, and you can do that during a marriage. You can do that. All you find from man to man and running around here in these streets and clubbing, and all you find is heartache and heartbreaks and 808s. That's all you find. That's what you find. Men that ain't about nothing. You find a lot of hyenas. You find a lot of dudes that's playing games, chicks that's playing games. That's what you find. Because there's a lot of these men is not out here. They have lost hope in finding wives. So they don't even treat you like you could be a wife. Especially if you where hoes be at. Clubs and all that type of stuff. He not looking for no wife in there. Had these young girls somewhere singing a scissor song. Had these girls somewhere singing a Summer Walker song. That's today's Mary J music. Cause her feelings been hurt. You want to get these young girls out here. This is what I mean by these old chicks be trying to play them young girls. Stop trying to play with them young girls. Stop playing with them. Just because you mad. You wish you was 17, 18, 19 again. You want to do nothing but be stupid again. You ain't learned your lesson because you old still talking that same foolishness. Teach these young girls the real truth. Don't teach them the game. Tell them the truth. Tell them that single motherhood is crap and they don't want no part of that. You tell them what to look out for. Don't let no boy talk you out of your panties and all that kind of stuff. Ain't nothing going on. He just wants some. Stop trying to tell these young girls they need to go out here and let every man or man have them in order for them to feel empowered and feel like they know something. All they know is they like doggy style better than missionary, and they can find that out in marriage. Open her up to all them crazy sexual situations. Now she can't be satisfied with one man and stuff like that. Leave them girls alone. Leave them young women alone. Stop misguiding them. Because you jealous. Because you jealous because she young. You had your chance. And if you ain't got nothing good to say to her, sit down and shut up and eat your food. Nobody listening to what you got to talk about, talking about you jaded. You mad at the world because you couldn't get no regular man. You mad at them young girls because they young. Leave her alone if you ain't got nothing good to say to her. Don't talk to her if you ain't gonna tell her the truth. That's why I do what I do, say what I say. Cause I don't got no jealousy for no young girl. I had my chance. I was 17, 18 before. You don't get it back. But then I didn't make a mess of my life. If she young and she a lioness and all that kind, she's supposed to get took up young. So she can increase her value as time go on. Let her have the babies she gonna have. She having babies too. The other 18, 19 having babies too. The difference would be she having hers with her husband. She not out here struggling and all that kind of stuff alone with no support. And don't fill her head with all this foolishness that her marriage is supposed to be happy, happy, joy, joy every day. It's work. I'm here to present a balance to a young woman. It's work. Marriages are work. Healthy, good marriages are work. It is not a pie in the sky. However, it is fulfilling at the same time. You will be fulfilled within it because you'll be able to look at your husband and know that he loves and supports you. Even when times become difficult. Because you're going to have difficulty anyway. You might as well have a man that's going to support you and be with you. Because it ain't like being single mean your life ain't going to be hard. You're going to meet some type of difficulty somewhere. But these old bitter chicks, they don't want these young girls to succeed. They don't want these young women to succeed and be happy and be content with her life and not have to look back with a million regrets. They don't want, like the young lady in the chat, they don't want her to not have all these sexual regrets. If she let this one hit it and then she let that one hit it and she don't even like to think about that. They want her to have that kind of sexual trauma and men trauma. So they can all talk with her about how men ain't nothing and all that kind of stuff and erode her trust and jade her to a point where she don't think she can find a healthy relationship. Y'all want these young girls to have all of this regret and be bitter. I don't want them to have that. I'm the auntie that want her to do better. I'm the auntie that want her to be the best possible that she could be and get into the best possible situation she could get into. to position herself to be chosen by a good man that's going to treat her right. Stop coming on here telling these young girls how they need to break these engagements and this, because you couldn't see a red flag and you ignored a red flag. Now you know how all of them, 3 of them women blame them men. I didn't hear 1 ounce of accountability. I didn't hear 1 ounce of accountability say, hey, I just chose wrong. I picked no man. It ain't their fault. I just don't know how to pick men. I pick them bad and I get myself into it, and then I be regretting it and get mad and regret it. A word to young women. This is going to be to young women, and then I'll read the super chats. How to choose the best men around you and know them. It's fine for a man to have vision and he want to work and he want to achieve this thing and he want to achieve that thing from a worldly standpoint or from a wealth standpoint or a professional standpoint. That's fine. That's wonderful if he has those things. You are looking for that. But I'm going to tell you where the balance come in at. Also look for that man to have a spiritual base. The reason why him having a spiritual base is because that is where his accountability for how he treats you come in at. His principles, his spiritual principle. His accountability before his Lord is what will dictate whether or not he treats you well or not. You want a man that will treat you good because that's what the Most High expect of him. Not because he like you today and then when you make him mad tomorrow, he don't treat you good. You don't want that. You don't want his treatment of you based on how he feel about you at that moment. You want how he treats you to be based on his accountability in front of his Lord. Treat you well because that's how he would treat any woman that he was married to. Because any man that cannot be brought back to reality through the word of the Most High, this is risky. This is a dangerous man. This is a risky man. Because where's his accountability coming from? Where is it coming from? Where's the source? Whose leadership he bowed to? You understand what I'm trying to say? Because you can't strong arm him and make him do nothing. So he has to be guided by his principle, his code of conduct. And that needs to be guided through his spiritual values. So whether he happy with you or he mad with you, his treatment of you will be the same. And he will have justice with you. He will be balanced with you. He will have patience with you. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as a wife, he'll have patience. Because the Most High tell him to have patience. So look for a man. That was for my young women. Look for a man with his spiritual value. Don't just look for the money. Don't just look for his profession. Don't just look for, what he's aspiring to do from a material standpoint. That's fine if he has that. I'm not saying don't look for it, but I'm saying also look for his spiritual guide. Like, where is he from a spiritual standpoint? Where is he on his moral code? Where is he on his principles? Where is that at? Because if he got that straight, you'll be treated well whether y'all are up or down. Because his principles will dictate that he treat his family well. Because men have to have point of accountability too. And the reality is the only thing that can hold men accountable is the Most High. It's the only thing that can hold them accountable. Police can't do it. Court system can't do it. That's not really going to hold him accountable. His submission come to the Most High. That's where he submit. If he can't submit to the Most High, that's not good. Because who he better than? Who can check him? If the Most High, if the Lord of the heavens and the earth can't check him, who can check him? When he wrong. Who can put him back in order when he get out of order? Do you understand? Because if the Most High, if the Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything in between can't check him, he can't be checked. By anything and anybody. Not good. That's how to choose a good man. You don't have to choose a nice man. You need a good man. Good men are often not very nice. Okay. Thank you so much, HVAC, for the contributions. Said, chat, do you believe this woman will hit the wall soon? How can you recklessly respect someone? Anybody, a doctor, I lost brain cells here and there. I did kind of lose a brain cell. So I'm 25 and way more mature than this female. If he's not committed, leave. They really cannot do better than Pookie's. That's desperation. Thank you, Dale. Said these likes are disrespectful. Hit the thumbs up. It's a likes disrespectful. Because I know this was not a popular show. This wasn't one of my shows that bring in 1,000 people, and we gonna get back to that. But sometimes a teaching is necessary, and when we get into solutions and teaching and not the problem, the likes and the participation go down. But it is what it is. Thank you again, HVAC. So I got 3 classmates with kids and they are 25 and lost something so powerful as sex to no good me. And now they're hollering at me again. No, thank you. Thank you, Skinny Boy. So that touched my soul to see a 17-year-old in here. It really did. It really did. Thank you, Aquarius at Persevere. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you, HVACs and Passport Bros. All I got to say, daggone shame their brothers got to leave America to get a wife, but oh well, that's what's gonna have to do. Thank you so much for the contributions. Please do. Wait, real life, please do. So I know that this is my last installment for this. So we're gonna get back to the more sensational stuff that people like to hear and that people like, but even though I do reactions and I will find clips and and I will comment on viral things and stuff like that, that's really not the base of what I do. That's not the point of what I do. Because I'm here to help edify people, not just go off and be real sensational and stuff like that. So there are going to be these kind of shows where I only get 500 people in. I only get a little bit of contribution. But I'm prepared for that. Because we're going more into solutions and things of that nature, I expect less. Because my energy has shifted. I beat to death the actual issues and the problems, and we still talking about it, but there has to be somebody got to take the hit to bring the solutions out. People say they want solutions, but that's not really real. And I know that already. People say, oh, where's the solutions? That people don't want to hear the solutions. It's not interesting. When we start talking about what we really need to be doing to get out of certain situations and the things that we're collectively in, then once you start talking like that, then people are not feeling it. People not feeling it. They want me to go in every day. And I want to be very honest with you, very candid with you. That energy, I am pivoting away from that energetically. Like I can't. That's exhaustive to me. It's exhaustive. There's only so much of that I can do, and I've done it for like 3 years. And so I'm going to continue to do this, but this is sort of why I'm setting things up to sort of pivot a lot of this offline. More Patreon stuff. I haven't really done a lot of uploads for Patreon for almost a month, and my apologies to my patrons for it. But I'm really trying to work on getting a curriculum built so that we can offer online classes for what I'm talking about. And I want to be able to take this on the road and speaking engagements and seminars and things of that nature. I want to start traveling. And what I want to be able to do is when I travel and have meetups, I want to be able to give my patrons the discount, like first come, first serve. You get a discount on ticket sales or whatever. You know what I mean? Because people do request that I come where they are. So I do want to, this upcoming year, I want to start touring, get my Patreons the first, give them a discount or something and things of that nature. It's just, it's a little bit daunting to me to create this stuff because I've never done it before, but I'm also not interested in recreating the wheel. People do online classes and stuff like that all the time. So, but I want it to be effective, if that makes sense. I know I'm kind of talking, but at some point I have to kind of give y'all little updates. I haven't forgotten none of the stuff that I said, Uncle and Auntie show, all of that. But there are also other things happening with me. Like I'm invested in my husband's vision, and that actually takes priority for me. It's not that I don't do this, but me being his helpmate is my job. That's my job. That's my priority. So, and yes, the first stop is gonna have to be Shy. We're gonna have to do Summertime Shy. Summertime Shy is so awesome. Like it's a whole vibe, I swear. Thank you, Jeffrey, said for the good cook, good sis. Thank you so much for your contribution. I had a couple people hit the Cash App as well. So let me get him a shout out. My good sis, she knows who she is. BPAYDHPD gave me some much appreciated support. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss C. So the curator, I seen you on the panel. C be jumping on them panels low key. Lioness be jumping on them panels low key. I be seeing the good sis sometimes. Thank you, sweetheart. So anyway, I'm talking about like traveling. We're definitely going to, the spring is going to be New York, and hopefully the summer will be Chicago, because I am not hitting Chicago in the wintertime. I'm just not. Anyway, jump down in the car. Oh, thank you, Mr. Enigma, and much love to you as well. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mr. Enigma. If I come to Philly, it better be a bunch of Muslims in the audience. I ain't gonna play with y'all like that. I am not about to play with y'all like that. The Muslims better be on deck. I know it's a bunch of Muslims in Philly, a bunch of them. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming through with the support. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.